do that. And when I look at this AFC, not just the AFC East, but I look at this entire conference, you have the Kansas City Chiefs really kind of being up and down through the first month plus. You have the Baltimore Ravens depleted with injuries. You have the Cincinnati Bengals needing to trade for Joe Flacco of all people. This conference is wide open for the Buffalo Bills, and they should be doing everything in their power to solidify themselves as the powerhouse, the clear favorite to come out of this and leave no stone unturned. So if I am the front office for the Buffalo Bills, I'm looking at a Chris Olave. I'm looking at an A.J. Brown in Philadelphia. I'm trying to make that big splash to push myself over the top in the AFC and get to a Super Bowl.
Could you imagine A.J. Brown and Josh Allen? I've got Jordan.
We've seen rumors swirl, insiders whispering, and analysts drawing up possible blockbuster trades, and one name keeps rising above the rest: Maxx Crosby. Today I want to take you deep into how he might land in Buffalo, why he'd be a transformational piece, and what it would cost, all while making the case this is a gamble worth betting on for the Bills Mafia. Maxx Crosby is no fringe star. He's a four-time Pro Bowl defensive end, a relentless force on the edge, and a player whose game has grown in every season. In March 2025, the Raiders locked him in with a 3-year, $106.5 million extension, including $91.5 million guaranteed, making him the highest-paid non-quarterback in the league. That doesn't just reflect his past, it signals they believe in what he's going to do next. Career totals tell the tale: 386 tackles, 61.5 sacks, 11 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 27 pass deflections. He's consistently been among the leaders in tackles for loss, TFL, since entering the league. He has the strength, the stamina, and the leadership to carry the line. But stats alone don't decide fits. Context and roster builds do. So let's walk through how Crosby could integrate into the Bills' defense and why he might just be the missing link in Buffalo's quest for a championship. Buffalo is so close. They've built a high-octane offense around Josh Allen, drafted intelligently, and proven they can compete. But in their march toward a Super Bowl, the defense still lags in consistency, especially in pass rush depth and edge presence. Analysts have projected the Bills as a likely suitor for Crosby in mock trades. One such mock package had Buffalo sending their 2025 first-round pick, a 2025 fourth, a 2025 sixth, and even a 2026 first pick in exchange for Crosby and a 2025 fourth. That's steep, yes, but in the Super Bowl window, such costs can be justified. Buffalo has the capital, the draft assets, and the urgency. They've eyed edge rushers before. They've made noise about upgrading the defensive front. Getting Crosby would elevate their identity. Let's talk numbers. In early 2025, Crosby's stats: 22 tackles, 2.0 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception so far. He's still seeing full snap rates, still making plays. In prior seasons, his consistency and volume are evident. In 2024, before an ankle injury cut his season, he led the Raiders in sacks, 7.5, despite missing games. In 2023, he posted 14.5 sacks, 90 total tackles, and led the league in tackles for loss with 23. He's been durable, he plays high snap percentages, and he attacks the interior run game as well as he pressures quarterbacks. In Buffalo's defensive scheme, Crosby could serve as an every-down edge rusher who can both collapse the pocket and hold the edge against the run. Pairing him with Boogie Basham, if retained, or adding another interior disruptor, gives Buffalo a front where opposing offenses have to think twice on both sides. Crosby's presence would allow the coordinator, whomever that ends up being, to dial back gamble blitzes in critical downs and trust that the pass rush will generate pressure organically. He also brings leadership, toughness, and a tone-setting presence. Bills' defense has had swings, moments of brilliance, and stretches of vulnerability. Crosby's consistency and ceiling push you toward expecting more brilliance. Of course, nothing is free. The Raiders aren't likely to deal a player they just extended at such value. Trades are possible, but the price is going to be steep. Buffalo may have to part with top picks or young talent. Another challenge: salary cap implications. Crosby's 2025 base salary is more than $22 million. If Buffalo brings him in, they'd need to structure the contract smartly, with guarantees, incentives, and perhaps renegotiations or extensions. Balancing that against other roster needs, secondary, interior D-line, special teams, is delicate. Then there's durability and age. At 28 turning 29, he's still in his prime, but edge rushers wear down. The ankle injury in 2024 is a warning flag. Buffalo would need to monitor his usage and ensure depth behind him. Also, chemistry with the defense matters. Installing a new star disruptor midline can shift pass rush responsibilities, alignments, and gap assignments. Buffalo's coaching staff would need to integrate him carefully. Finally, staying realistic. Rumors suggest teams like Buffalo, Seattle, Washington have poked on Crosby in the past, but being linked is one thing, pulling off a deal is another. Bills Mafia, listen, if your goal is Super Bowl, not just making noise but winning it, you don't worry about steep trade costs so much as opportunity cost. Crosby is not a role player, he's a core difference maker. When you have a chance to land someone who can disrupt drives, collapse pockets, and set a tone, you lean in. Imagine playoff games where opposing quarterbacks feel pressure on every snap. Imagine an offensive line game planning differently because they fear him. Imagine Buffalo's defense going from strong but not elite to nightmare for offenses. That's what Crosby brings. Yes, Buffalo has to navigate draft capital, salary cap, roster balance, but they've done that before. They understand the stakes. And honestly, this feels like the kind of fearless swing this fan base would back. Here's my conclusion. Yes, the Bills should go after Maxx Crosby aggressively. The cost will be high, the negotiation intense, the risk real, but the reward is monumental. A defense with Crosby anchoring the edge is a defense that can carry a team through the grueling AFC gauntlet. Buffalo has the ambition. They should back it up. Bills Mafia, what do you think? Is Maxx Crosby the missing piece Buffalo needs? What trade would you be comfortable with? Drop a comment with your trade proposals. Let me know if you're all in. Smash that like if you want me to break down potential deals and cap scenarios next. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss a blistering rumor or reaction.